Howdy! Welcome to another episode of Duck the Law. Today we are going to be discussing common misconceptions that people have when filming the police. We're going to review a few videos, dissect them, and at the end we're going to discuss everything we talked about. Let's talk about it. Howdy, welcome back to Duck the Law. In my last episode, YouTube user Lefty Cat left a comment saying, I think it would be good to have a video on one's rights while recording the police. Keep it up. Well, thank you for your comment and support, Lefty. I think that was a good idea too. So, as I was writing this episode, it turns out I have a lot to say about the topic of filming the police. So, this is going to be a two-parter. This first part is going to be discussing misconceptions that people have when filming police. And the next episode is going to discuss a list of tips that I've learned over a decade of legal observing and filming the police. We have a lot to go over and not a lot of time.
We don't have a lot of time! Come on!
So let's get into it. The first question we're going to discuss is, can cops retaliate against me for filming? Now, even though the video we're about to watch doesn't actually show a guy that's filming, it does clearly show retaliation, and it's very similar to what they would do or could do in a case of someone filming. It also clearly shows a point that I've been hammering, that the cops don't care about your rights or the law. If they can get away with blurring the lines, they're gonna blur the lines. Okay, let's watch.
Hello. Hey, were you trying to come over our wall here?
Hell no. Do I look stupid?
No? We'll get you for 1 second, because we had a call of a guy dressed in black that was climbing up on one of our walls there.
Hell no. Ain't you guys got cameras?
Uh-huh. Do you have an ID card with you? I'll call Fleming. Well, we're out with the guy dressed in black that's running right along here, so.
He said he had a citizen call. What?
Oh, so he didn't see it?
No, he didn't.
Jesus Christ.
Refusing to give his name or any information.
Hey, I don't like cops. I don't talk to cops. I don't deal with
Okay.
cops. I was minding my business, looking at my phone, walking down
He
the
stated to
sidewalk,
me-
and I was stopped.
Freely, he stated to me that he was inside the lobby trying to make an officer complaint.
Okay.
Figured out it was closed, so he left the the lobby, and came onto the road. The sidewalk, and came this way. So he was trying to make a complaint, but
Okay.
Say what?
I said, you protect your blue line brothers. You ain't gonna do shit.
Based on what?
Based on police. That's what's based on.
You don't know
Based
me.
on I don't need to know you. You're a blue line. That's all you are to me.
Okay.
You don't give a damn about nobody but your other blue line people.
So okay. All right.
You ain't trying to help me do shit. Right now you're harassing me on the side of the road. Am I being detained or am I free to leave?
You're free to go.
Thank you. Fuck all y'all.
Keep an eye on him as he.
Do you know if he's parked in the front parking lot or anything like that?
I don't know. You want to go? Preston. Go to the. See if he's got a tag on the car in the parking lot. Now you're detained for jaywalking, running across Clyde Morris like that.
How else am I going to cross?
That's what crosswalks are for.
There isn't a crosswalk within 150 feet. I know you cross at a
Well, now you're
90-degree
detained.
angle when there's no crosswalks within 150 feet.
You're detained,
You're illegally detaining me.
and now you have to identify yourself.
No, I don't. I want a supervisor.
I am the
I
supervisor.
want your supervisor. I didn't do anything wrong. I committed no crimes. I am not giving you my ID.
Jaywalking is a traffic infraction.
Well, come on, Gavacho, you the law. Do your job. Do your fucking job!
I know exactly what I'm doing.
Okay.
You cannot write me a ticket for jaywalking if I'm over 150 feet away from a crosswalk. You know that. You're only doing this to force my ID. That's the only reason you're doing this, because you're a punk. You want to know my name, so you're going to get it one way or the other, no matter how you have to do it, because you're a tyrant.
I didn't make you run
You're
across
a
the road.
tyrant. You know what the laws are. You know I didn't break no laws.
Okay, so can cops retaliate against you? Yes. If you break any laws in front of them and they have probable cause, they can arrest you or cite you, even though their main motivation was retaliation. They can retaliate against you for something you might have told them that they found offensive, or to get you to stop filming, or to force you to ID yourself. Now, the guy in the film was not filming. He was trying to make a complaint against an officer, and they retaliated against him in the same way that they would if he was filming. And as I keep saying over and over again, on the streets, the cops don't respect your rights, and they may not respect the law because they are in the streets without oversight. They do what they want. Your rights are enforced in court, not on the streets. Popeye, tell them.
This is the streets, homie. You got no choice.
Neves versus Bartlett is a recent case from the Supreme Court, 2019, and it states that if an officer has probable cause to arrest you or cite you, they can do that even if their main motivation is malicious retaliatory intent. Even if the officer openly admits that the only reason they are arresting you or citing you is retaliation, the law doesn't care. The law prioritizes giving cops the right to punish you for the slightest infraction, and that's more important than protecting your First Amendment rights. With this case, the Supreme Court greenlit police retaliation. I also think it's very important to take notice of which justices vote which way on the Supreme Court. In this case, the only justice to fully dissent from this decision was Justice Sotomayor. Now, she's my homegirl. She's down. So, what does this fully mean? It means that if a cop sees you doing something they don't like, possibly filming, they can arrest you or cite you if they have probable cause. And it doesn't matter that they wouldn't have done it otherwise. Punishing you for the slightest infraction of the law is more important to the government than your right to free speech or your privacy. The most common crimes I've seen people get arrested for while they're filming are obstructing and interfering, blocking a roadway, and jaywalking. So be very mindful of those three laws when you're filming the police. One of the main themes you're going to see from this channel is that the cops don't care about your rights or the law. Just because you have the right to do something doesn't mean the cops won't violate that right. Cops don't care about your rights because they have no incentive to care about your rights. Internal affairs will use any reason to justify or exonerate their officers. The district attorney will rarely indict officers, and an officer won't pay a penny from a civil rights claim that's filed against them. And until they do, they have nothing to be afraid of. Now, I'm not saying any of this to discourage you from filming the cops. I want to encourage you to film the cops. I just don't want you to have unrealistic expectations of what could happen. You should go out there fully prepared. There's inherent risks to filming the police. But you know what?
Hey, life's a risk, carnal.
The next question we're going to cover is, what if I'm filming the police and the person or people they're interacting with don't want to be filmed? Let's watch a video from the YouTube channel 911 Video News for an extreme example of someone objecting to being filmed. Let's watch.
Why the fuck are you recording us for? No, they don't have no. Hey, why are you recording us? You have to record. Fucking no. What are you recording for?
Back up, back up, back up, back up.
What you gonna do?
Back up.
Why are you recording us for? No. Why? Because they fucking decided to What the fuck are you doing? Someone has to be here with you. Why does he record it? He's gonna post And now you come and fucking drop me on the fucking floor, fucking stupid!
In this video, Homegirl completely lost control when she saw that she was being filmed. She let her emotions take control of her, and she was inconsolable throughout the entire video. And you see, her other homegirl was constantly complaining about being filmed. So what are the rules on this? Can you film without the permission of those you're filming? Yes. They have no choice. Right, Popeye?
This is the streets, homie. You got no choice.
You got no choice. As long as you're filming in a public area or a place that's in plain view of a public area, the people have no expectation of privacy. And think about it for a little bit. There's cameras on doorbells, there's cameras on buildings, there's security cameras everywhere, there's cameras on traffic lights, and they don't need anybody's permission to film them. Why? Because they're out in public. Right here, I want to emphasize checking with your local state or jurisdiction about these laws. What I'm saying is true for most jurisdictions, but there are exceptions. Illinois is a state with a weird wiretapping law, and I know they're an exception to this rule. They've had some very public cases of arresting people who film the police. This is not a common practice, but it is out there, so be aware. Since those jurisdictions are in the minority, I'm not going to be discussing them in this video, but be aware that they are out there, and you can probably contact your state's American Civil Liberties Union to find out what the laws are in your state. So what can you do if someone objects to being filmed while you're filming the police? What I do is I let them know very quickly and briefly, I'm not posting this anywhere. I'm just making sure the police treat you right, and I'll delete it if everything's cool. Usually this is enough to disarm them and calm them down and be cool with you filming because they know you're there for their protection. But if they still object, I don't care. I'm going to keep filming. I'm not there filming them. I'm there filming the police. And I mean it when I say I'm not going to post this video on the internet, and neither should you. You should never post a video of someone breaking the law on the internet because the police can then find that video and use it to prosecute those people. If you film anything substantial, you should take it to your county's public defender's office. And they hopefully will be able to give it to the attorney of the person that you filmed. If you don't know if a law was broken, it's best not to post it. So what if the cops object to me filming them? Well, I care even less. In California, we have California Penal Code 148 Golf. Filming by itself is not probable cause or reasonable suspicion of any crime. But you have to remember what we talked about earlier. You have to be sure not to break any laws because they can use that as a pretext to get you to stop filming or to retaliate against you. The next question that I get asked often is, can police confiscate my phone if I'm filming them? This is often a myth that's pushed by cops themselves. Let's watch one of my personal videos from 2011. This is one of my very first times filming the police. Let's watch.
Well, what's happening here?
The guy hit me with something. He threw an object at me. He hit me. I want him arrested for assault. I could give you that. Knife. He threatened twice. He tried to bite someone. He's kicked somebody. He needs to be taken.
Does this guy want? Are you going to provide your phone as evidence in this? We're going to need to book that phone.
No, this is public property. I can film.
Yeah, that's evidence of the crime.
I don't have evidence of the crime. I have evidence of the arrest.
I do.
Yeah, he has it.
Well, walk over here and you can tell us what's going on.
You're not taking my phone. Now, this was years before I went to law school. And even though I didn't fully know or understand the law, I knew I was well within my rights to film the police. And I knew I just could not interfere with what they were doing. I ended up following them for the next 10, 12 minutes. I kept quiet. I was respectful, I did not interfere, and they didn't interact with me again. And no, they did not confiscate my phone for evidence. So, can a cop really confiscate your phone or camera because you were filming? Generally, no. As long as you're keeping a reasonable and respectful distance from them and what they're trying to do, and you're not interfering and you're not breaking any other laws, it's going to be really hard for them to get an excuse to confiscate your footage or your camera or your phone. One of the best tactics I've found for filming the police when they are pushing people back or trying to make distance or trying to block your footage is to repeat the words, "I'm not interfering." And you say it over and over again. "I'm not interfering. I'm not interfering. I'm not interfering. I'm not interfering." And you keep the focus of your footage on what is happening. Don't let the cop in front of you take your focus away from that. Don't engage with them. Try to keep as quiet as possible so the audio picks up what's happening on what's important, on what you're watching. That's what's important. So here's another police interaction where I use this tactic myself. Let's watch.
I'm not interfering, Officer Carter. I'm not interfering. 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 I don't plan to cross your lines. I don't plan to cross your lines. I'm not interfering. I'm not interfering.
As you can see, I kept my distance, I kept my footage on the action, I kept repeating, "I'm not interfering." I informed the officer I had no intention to cross their police lines. And again, they could do anything they want on the streets, but I made it very, very hard for them to justify taking any action against me. Now, if you are arrested and they end up confiscating your phone or your camera, the best thing you can do is, as soon as possible, get a criminal defense attorney. Talk to a criminal defense attorney. Tell them the facts of your case and your situation, and hopefully they'll be able to help you fight this. Okay, so in this episode, we talked about a few common misconceptions people have when filming the police. First, it is legal for police to retaliate you for filming if you violate the most minor of infractions. So be very mindful of what the laws are and make sure you're not breaking them. Don't let them induce you into breaking the law. Second, we talked about other people and cops not agreeing to be filmed. Well, they have no choice if they are in public or in plain view from a public area. Tell them you're filming for their protection and you will not be posting it to the internet. And you should not post footage you take of police interactions on the internet unless you are 100% sure it does not contain uh, anyone committing any crimes except for a cop, right? The footage I posted here today, I'm posting for the first time, and it's many, many years old. It's well past the statute of limitations of any alleged crime that may have occurred in the footage. And the third issue we discussed is the police cannot generally confiscate your phone or camera. But as we discussed before, be mindful that you don't break any laws. This was part 1 of 2 on filming the police. In the next episode, we are going to discuss a list of tips that I've developed after a decade of filming the police and being a member and legal observer trainer and know your rights trainer for the National Lawyers Guild. So make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss that video when it comes out. Thanks again to Lefty Cat for your comment and idea for the topic of this video. If you have any other ideas, please leave them below. I respond to all the comments. Thank you for all the wonderful support that you've given this channel so early in its development. I'm hoping to bring you more great content. Until our next episode, Duck the Law.